Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. I've noticed that Baldur's Gate 3 has caused quite a few of you to check out Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous for the first time. As you have no doubt discovered, there's a wealth of builds, guides, and analysis for this game on my channel that should make your playthrough significantly easier. In addition, I have clips of various Mythic Path scenes where I voice act the dialogue. These clips came out slowly over the course of several months, so I thought some of you would appreciate a video putting them all together in order. This video compiles all the clips I did for the Swarm That Walks Mythic Path. Obviously, this content will contain major spoilers. Swarm is not only the most evil path in the game, but it's arguably the most evil playthrough that a video game has ever allowed you to play. Many people cannot stomach this level of pure evil, so it was a joy being able to present and voice content that a lot of people never played. Keep in mind, this isn't literally all of the Swarm content in the game. I try to specifically choose sections with content the community would find interesting. If you would like an updated version of this video that contains all of the Swarm content, definitely let me know down below, and I'll consider doing that when a definitive edition of this game comes out. Also, it should be noted that these videos were made much earlier in my YouTube career, so you'll see many things in my style of content creation has changed since then. I do a better job of balancing audio levels. I don't have the weird click sounds with the like and subscribe buttons, things of that nature. So all of that stuff is actually embedded in the videos. There's no way for me to take it out, and that's why you see it in there, but obviously I learned over time. Before we get into the clips, let me remind everyone that here at Slandered Gaming, we focus on RPGs, and more specifically, CRPGs. You can find builds, guides, and live streams for games like Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, Baldur's Gate 3, and Pillars of Eternity. If that kind of stuff interests you, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future content.
The decision to use Devours as weapons. I can't deny that they were effective. And yet you still shouldn't have done it. While the demons did suffer serious losses from the creatures, a lot of our fighters died as well, leaving our soldiers to be eaten by insects. Is that really how we Crusaders want to win? But that's not all. The Devours did not simply disappear. They are still flying around the city, in smaller numbers, praise Iomedae. People see small swarms of them here and there. If you don't find a way to purge the city of this pestilence, I'm afraid that it will soon be devoured by a new swarm.
For a brief moment, you imagine an empty Dresden consumed by the Devours. Not a soul left alive. Bleached bones barely visible on the overgrown cobblestones. And, above it all, the never-ending song of the swarm. The vision disappears as quickly as it came, leaving behind a feeling of slight nausea and grim satisfaction. I am so tired of pretending to care about these people. Irabeth, Anevia, Zelle, Soseo. I will kill them all. Kill them all! Kill them all! I'm sorry, Irabeth. What were you saying? Of course. I'd be happy to help you. Whatever I can do. Hey, listen, there's something I wanted to bend your ear about. Anevia's tone is supremely nonchalant, but it's clear that she's deeply troubled about something. As you know, it's my job to be your eyes and ears. To know what people are saying in the streets and in the barracks, to warn you about the little problems before they can turn into real trouble, right? Now, whether you believe what your eyes and ears are telling you, that's completely up to you. But you should hear me out and take heed of what I'm about to say to you, and I'll put it plainly. If you keep going the way you are, you'll bring a lot more than unpleasantness, a lot more than trouble down on all our heads. You'll bring a full-blown catastrophe. Do you catch my drift? I presume you're referring to my experiments and research involving the insects from the abyss. Exactly. What in Desna's name is the matter with you? Doing experiments that would turn even Baphomet's stomach? Did you think that you'd be able to keep them a secret? Well, the bug's out of the bag. The rumors are all over Dresden. At first, I thought it was disinformation being put about by cultists. I couldn't believe it when I found out that at least a quarter of the horror stories are actually true. Can you do something about these rumors? The rumors ain't the problem. The problem is that there's truth behind them. Anyway, here's the thing. Nothing terrible has happened. You don't need to worry about a mob with pitchforks showing up at your door. I can quash the rumors, but only if you don't add more fuel to the fire by continuing these experiments. You need to put a stop to whatever you're doing before it gets you killed and tears the whole army apart. I'll put feelers out in the party to see what they think of all this. Your friends don't want to believe it, but their suspicions are growing. Just know that if you do end up turning into a walking swarm of locusts, Desna forbid, very soon you won't have any allies left. Who's going to stick around to be locust food? Your soldiers will desert you. Your companions will abandon you. Your friends will turn their backs on you. Whatever power you think you might gain, you'll be enjoying it alone. A huge, oily Nafenshni is waiting for you with his arms folded. Here comes the commander, kids. So, Commander, do you like what you see? You've arrived just in time to hear your friends screaming for help. They trusted you, and look what's happened to them. Do you actually think you can rescue them? Ha! Who do you think you are? You are just a jumped up mortal insect. You are nobody. Evil. Require swarm mythic path. I am the swarm, and you are food for the swarm. Power rushes through your body, almost ripping it apart. The wound in your chest burst open in a spray of bloody droplets. The might bestowed upon you by the abyss and Areelu Vorlesh erupts into this world, and you pay for it in the purest agony. You are overwhelmed by hunger, as well as hatred toward the food that dares to refuse to satisfy that hunger. There is more hunger and hatred in you than one mortal soul can contain, for these feelings do not belong to you alone. Countless tiny wings stir into motion all over Dresden as the swarm flies to its master's aid. This is horrible. Why are you doing this to yourself? It will make you feel bad, really bad. And everyone around you will feel bad too. Everyone will run away from you. Maybe even me. This is disgusting. Have you truly decided to turn this to such a heinous thing? If it is true, you can say goodbye to me and to the rest of our party, I imagine. Do you honestly plan to replace your army with a swarm of insects? Well, good luck with that, but you will have to do without my help. So much power, but this is going too far even for me. Sorry, Master, but I must refuse to serve the swarm. Risking my life by your side every day is one thing, but wondering when you decide to devour me is another thing entirely. I'll be surprised if anyone decides to stay with you. I beg you, as a friend, for the sake of everything we've been through together, call off the swarm and stop trying to imitate Xanthir Vang. Stop this madness. I can't remain your companion otherwise. No one from our party will follow a monster. You don't hear anyone. The swarm descends upon the battlefield and the feast begins. Myriad mandibles burrow into living flesh, making no distinction between demon and mortal, friend and foe. An incredible silence suddenly descends over the city. It is broken by the solemn sound of fanfares that seems to come from far away, everywhere, and nowhere all at once. All eyes are turned to the huge stained glass window of the city's main cathedral. It begins to glow with a soft light, and in the next breath, a lone figure steps out of the glass onto the cobblestones of Dresden.
Knight Commander, at last we meet. The power that lives in you is alluring, unhinged, and can break the laws of reality itself. It is dangerous. You have chosen a path that is unspeakably vile. One that would make even demons shudder. Perhaps this blasphemous power will help you defeat the Abyss. But at what cost? Do you really wish to become an enemy to everything that lives?
Both the goddess and the demon lord stare at you expectantly. I want to ask my companions for advice. What do you think about all this? Silence is your answer. So absolute that all you can hear is the buzzing of the Devours you summoned. In the eyes of your companions, you can see fear, disappointment, anger. It is clear without words. If you continue on the path of the swarm, no one will follow you. I've made my decision. The choice is made. All you have to do is announce it to everyone. I hate both of you. I hate everyone. Everyone. Your voice buzzes like the wings of myriad insects. The world breaks into pieces, reflecting in the countless facets of countless eyes that stare at you from everywhere. The goddess and the demon lord stand before you. They are so different, but now the expression in their eyes is the same: revulsion, tinged with horror.
Well, well, this is a most alarming turn of events.
Ugh, how repulsive.
You accepted a gift of power from the Abyss, but you have eclipsed your benefactors in unholiness.
You are ready to answer, but your lips are paralyzed. Your entire body freezes, and the swarm, so obedient a moment ago, starts scurrying around mindlessly back and forth. An alien will shackles you, indestructible, inhuman, terrifying will. A huge shadow towers over you, and you can tell who it is before you hear it speak.
Despicable Iomedae, and you, deplorable queen of the Midnight Isles, you wanted to turn this mortal into a weapon against me. A pathetic ploy. Now he is similar to me, and will serve me before he joins my swarm.
That will never happen.
Iomedae's eyes flash with blinding light, and a moment later, a pillar of fire strikes you. You feel your skin sizzling and charring, your eyes boiling and bulging, your muscles reducing to ash. The unbearable torment lasts much longer than the body of a common mortal could handle. But in the end, you finally plunge into the merciful darkness of oblivion. The light is gone, and so is the pain. After all, you don't have the ability to feel pain. You no longer have a body, and yet you are still here. Your rage binds you to this place, a deep, abiding hatred for demons, deities, mortals, a hatred for everyone and everything. You hear the sound of distant voices somewhere beyond the veil of darkness that obscures your vision. My friend turned out to be a monster. I guess I'm done with the Crusades. He was so kind, but he also did so many evil things. It's a pity that he died before he had the chance to repent, But I guess it is good that the goddess did not allow him to turn into a walking swarm. So many innocent people would have died if she hadn't intervened. So, the leader of the crusade turned out to be a traitor. This outcome is unfortunate, but it is not unexpected. I suspected for some time that it would take direct intervention to save the Mendevian army. My commanding officers want to hear a detailed report of this fiasco. Praise the goddess for punishing the traitor, and shame on all of us for not realizing that his soul was rotten to the core. But the crusade will continue without the commander. Who's with me? Farewell. You can hear the grief and sadness in the cleric's voice. I loved you. It's a pity that love cannot save you from what you decided to become. But I swear that I will never forget you. I will always remember the happy moments we spent together and the tragic way it all ended. Now that's how you go out with a bang. It took the intervention of a goddess to kill the commander. You have to admit, that is pretty impressive. Farewell, Anansi, you magnificent scoundrel. When I return to Mendev, I shall find the best bard and pay them to compose a ballad about your meteoric rise and tragic downfall. Yeah, that was something. A snap of the fingers and he turned into a pile of ash. But I better get out of here while I still can. I don't want to become brunch for a bunch of bugs. This miserable pile of ashes used to be my master? Bah! I'd better go find myself someone else to follow. Someone stronger and smarter. Right. Well, my contract is officially at an end. I wonder why I've been so unlucky with my employers lately. I hope the next one won't try to eat me alive at least. What a pity that the experiment of the great Areelu Varlesh had to end this way. Well, farewell then, boy. You were not a bad follower, but I'm not going to stay here anymore. So that's it then. An empty city, locusts everywhere, and a pile of ashes in the middle of it all. I never thought the crusade would end like this, but if the goddess hadn't intervened, things could have gotten a lot worse. Well, it's time to get to work. Dresden is buried beneath a layer of ash, dust, and rotten corpses. Somebody needs to clean up the city before the queen returns. In the silence that follows, you hear a loud, rasping laugh. Killed, cursed, and abandoned by everyone. So this is how the similar one meets his end, in dust and disgrace. Are you Deskari? Mortals call me by that name. They praise and curse me. They will die with my name on their lips. The similar one, what is that supposed to mean? No mortal is equal to the great Deskari, but this one has managed to attract my attention. The one the mortals call the Commander is only a pale imitation of the great Deskari, a mere shadow of his greatness, but he can still understand me in a way that no other mortal can. What have you done to me? You hear the rasping laughter once again. This excellent little mortal tried to become like the great Deskari. He succeeded, and that's commendable. But does this mortal understand the nature of the swarm? Does he know how to control it? Does he know its strengths and weaknesses? Can this mortal understand the great truth of the swarm? No. His existence is too brief, too fleeting for him to grasp such a profound truth. The similar one knew that he had to devour the Vescavor queen and subjugate its swarm, but there is danger in every feast. Sometimes the devourer digests the food, and sometimes the food poisons the devourer. The locusts of the great Deskari were hidden within the swarm that the similar one subjugated to his will, and one locust, small but strong, found its way inside the body of the similar one. As long as the locust remains secure in its hiding place, the similar one will not be free from Deskari's will, until such time as Deskari decides to devour him. What's happening to me? Death. But for the swarm, this word has another meaning. The swarm can survive a great deal, even the death of its master. The similar one prepared for this when he altered his body by following the teachings of another similar one. He does not yet know how to come back, but he will soon learn. Requires swarm, mythic path. I'll be back. I'll devour everyone who betrayed me. Then I'll devour you and your kingdom. And then I'll consume all of Galorian. The previously ebbing hatred now fills your being once more. It becomes thicker and denser until you feel that you have flesh again. Flesh that has been reduced to ashes, scattered throughout all Dresden. Flesh that trembles on the wings of the swarm that is enthralled to you. Your will, your hatred, your hunger will not allow you to simply disappear. Your will, your hatred, your hunger will bring you back. With your will, you will subjugate. With your hatred, you will wreak vengeance. With your hunger, you will devour. Good, very good. Let the similar one be reborn. I will follow his progress. The insects swarm toward the place of your death. They gather together into a tight group until they look like a mass of dark, buzzing flesh. You cannot control the swarm well enough to become like Xanthir Vang. Your mind is not prepared to reject the physical form to which you are accustomed. That will come in time. For now, however, you will inhabit a body made of insects. This insectile body bears a passing resemblance to your previous form, and after a moment, it opens its eyes. You do not recognize the people who have entered the hall, and they do not wear any insignias that would identify them. But from their appearance, you know that they must be cultists of Deskari. They have battered armor, dirty clothes, and their mutilated bodies are infested with squirming insects. Their crazed expressions, trembling lips, and drooling mouths leave you in no doubt as to their identity. There's an insane light in their eyes as they fall on their knees and raise their hands towards you. Ah, Lord. Praise be to the true Lord of the Swarm. May our Lord devour everyone and everything. May the false idol be brought low. May our Lord reign over all the plains. We are here to swear our fealty to you and to bring you good tidings. Wise Anemora, who once served the false idol, has seen the truth. She has heard your call and recognizes your authority. She serves you now, our Lord. She has joined your swarm and she wishes to pay her respects to you in person. The cultist prostrates himself before you, and his forehead leaves a smear of blood and pus on the ground. Does the similar one wish to be worshipped? Does he feel pleased when mortals kneel before him and praise him? If he does, he misunderstands what it means to be the swarm. Only a mortal is dependent on the opinions of other mortals. Anemora is a wise seer. She hears the song of the swarm and understands its nature. In her mystic trances, she learns terrible, merciless truths that eat away at her mind like thousands of biting mandibles. Priests are the worst kind of mortal. They try to curry favor from their deity because they hope that their deity will grant them power. Then they convince themselves that this power rightfully belongs to them and begin to scheme to take their patron's place. Anemora acted like she was loyal to me, but she was loyal only to herself. Her betrayal comes as no surprise. Her loyalty to the similar one will be exactly the same. Curse the false idol and his pathetic swarm. May that foul name never again defile my lips. The cultist spits on the ground in disgust. The song of your locusts revealed the truth to us. You are the only true Lord of the Swarm. You will devour all the worlds. You are the only one we will worship. What a pointless, pathetic betrayal. These mortals were part of the Swarm. Now they will be food for the Swarm and become part of it once again. In the end, nothing has changed. What leads the Swarm to its Lord? We do not know. We came because we could not do otherwise. Sounds, smells, signs. The force that guides the locust can take many different forms. But what is this force? Does a similar one know? It is will. My will is unbreakable, but the will of the similar one is weak and pathetic. Life feeds life. Swarm devours swarm. Those devoured will be resurrected as devourers themselves. Do it, my lord, do it, I beg you. What a glorious day. May the swarm devour me whole. Glory to the Lord of the Swarm. The cultists continue to offer up words of devotion as the swarm consumes his flesh. He rasps out your praises until the insects devour his face and he no longer has the ability to speak. Those who abandoned me will return to me. Those who became food for the similar one will become my food after I devour the similar one. Nothing has changed. Did you summon me, Master? The cultist's cloudy eyes stare at you with infinite adoration. Odd. You don't recall calling for anyone. Who are you? Nobody, oh magnificent one, just a tiny insect in your glorious swarm. The swarm serves the swarm. The swarm devours the swarm. The swarm begets the swarm. The cultist's reply dissolves into incoherent mumbling. I didn't summon you. Not with the words, no, but you were thinking of us, of your loyal swarm. You wished to discuss something with someone capable of speech. You have lately been plagued by troubled thoughts. It seems you used your power over the swarm to summon someone without realizing it. How very mortal of you. Once the similar one truly embraces his swarm, he will no longer need to speak to it in words. So what exactly did I want to discuss? More servants of the false idol are starting to see the light. One after another, we leave his swarm and join yours. How do you wish to make use of us? Will you leave us as we came to you, miserable pieces of mortal flesh, ready to fight and die in your name? Or will you grant us bliss by making us food for your beautiful children? What will happen if I let the cultists stay in my army? We will fight for you until we die, and if you wish, we will feed your children with our flesh and blood. Each of us is happy to serve the master. What will happen if I feed the cultists to insects? It will be the happiest day of our lives. Maggots will squirm in our flesh until we are transformed into a myriad of wonderful tiny insects. You must decide which ones. Locusts, perhaps, or even beautiful tiny spiders. If we are particularly fortunate, we will transform into glorious Devours, the pinnacle of perfection. Mythic. Sacrifice for the swarm. Deals physical damage to itself and restores HP to the target swarm unit. Pathetic servants whose only goal is to be devoured by the swarm. No, we only need swarm. I have made a decision. I will feed the cultists to insects. Deskari's heart rejoices whenever another mindless mortal becomes food for the tiny swarming perfection. Such is the fate awaiting each of them, sooner for some, later for others. Oh, happiness, oh joy! Which insects exactly? Devours. May the Lord's will be done. You need not give the order. We will obey your thoughts and gladly march into the mouths of your children. A fine day to you, Commander. Welcome to the One-Eyed Devil's Trading House. Wares of your choice and a whole lot more. You name it. Require Swarm Mythic Path. Devour the One-Eyed Devil. This is where our cooperation ends. Hey, what are you doing? Don't. You need me. Can I give you a discount? How about a rare item? I'll do anything you want. Just don't eat me. You are no longer useful, but you can still feed me. No, you can't. I have a mission. I must save Lori. Hiller tries to fight back, even while insects swarm him. The frantic passion burning in his eyes makes him stubbornly reject the grim but inescapable reality that he is already dead. Rejoice, for today you will become my food. Thank you, oh great one. You are so gracious, so generous. What a joy it is to be part of the swarm. May the false idol fall, and may his name be forgotten. Phi looks you over. Yes, the goddess did not spare you. But then, if I'd been struck by fire from the sky, it'd look much worse. I hope you haven't lost your appetite. Care for a drink? My appetite is fine, but it's not beer that I want. I should have left Dresden the day before yesterday. We will devour everything. Glory to the Mad Titan. Praise your name, praise your name, praise your name. Glory to our Lord. The Asamara looks at you grimly. My services are still at your disposal, for this is the order of my God. The blind elf whispers something under his breath. Hearing your steps, he turns to you slowly. Greetings, the Mad Titan. Have you brought me a new story? Evil requires Swarm Mythic Path. Devour the storyteller. You have told your last story. Your insects rush towards the old man, but they fly past him, utterly indifferent to his presence. It is as if the storyteller has no smell, no taste, as if he does not exist for your swarm. The elf shrugs. It seems you are mistaken. My story won't end here. A regal Aasimar woman, dressed in priestess's robes, bows her head. She has a proud, dignified bearing, but she looks tired. Greetings. I am Eliandra, the high priestess of Pulura. Thank you for coming to save my shrine. You are nothing more than food for the swarm.
Let's strike from the shadows.
Thank you for saving us from those monsters. I didn't think I was going to survive. She looks at the dark, rocky isle in the distance. Markle, what have you done? Require Swarm Mythic Path. Devour the fisherman. I saved you so that I could devour you and all your kin. Oh no, please no. The villagers are scrawny and they stink of river mud. They do not offer much nourishment, but it does not matter. The swarm needs to feed.
Let's strike from the shadows.
The tall shadow shifts toward you slightly. You see a familiar form, the familiar golden armor, but how much has changed? A malevolent glow streams from the pierced breastplate and cracked helmet, but the change goes much deeper than that. All signs of life and emotion have been drained from the hand of the Inheritor. His movements are sharp and precise, mechanical, the gestures impersonal and hollow, as is his voice. Commander, the Mad Titan, I have been waiting for you. Baphomet told me you would come for me, and that he would prevail either way, whether I destroy you or you destroy me. Former allies tearing each other to shreds can only benefit him. Baphomet deceives those that should be enslaved and enslaves those that should be destroyed. This angel is my worst enemy. Why has he let him live? Why has he made him into his toy? To spite me? He must give this trophy to me or feel my wrath. The former angel falls to one knee, but even now, his movements are lifeless, apathetic. One who has no heart knows no pain. The end is near, as expected. Evil requires swarm mythic path, devour the hand of the Inheritor. Your flesh is food for the swarm. He accepts your words calmly, taking them for granted. Lord Baphomet foresaw this outcome as well. Please, let it all end. Oh my lord! The greatest of the great, the swarm that will devour the whole world. An elven woman with charcoal black skin and snow white hair bows deeply before you. Her body is covered in wounds, boils, and lacerations, and insects squirm within the folds of her clothing. Her voice is serene, but her eyes burn with a feverish zeal. I am Anemora. I once served Deskari, but now I bow only to you. Anemora steps forward, but as she moves toward you, her lips twist into a sinister grin of triumph. Suddenly, it feels as though your mind is being torn apart by thousands of biting, gnawing insects. The pain makes you want to scream, but you cannot even manage to open your lips. Anemora comes closer to you. She looks you in the eye and grins. Did you actually think that I would betray Lord Deskari for some insolent mortal? Your pride will be your downfall. Behold! She pushes aside the hair from her face, and you see a hole has been gnawed into her forehead. My lord Deskari has placed a locust within me. It is just like the one nesting inside your body. With its help, I can bind your will. You thought I would renounce the great Deskari to serve you? Well, now you will renounce your will and begin to serve the great Deskari. You are still mortal, Anemora. Your love intrigued too much. You feel the need to complicate the simplest things. A ghastly shadow rises up in your peripheral vision. The shadow's voice keeps changing, shifting from the wheezing croak of an old man to the soft, clear voice of a young child. However, the creature's cold, imperious manner does not change. The swarm does not need to subjugate this imposter. I will simply devour him and everything will be over. Is that so? Echo. Intrigue? You can hear the spite and sarcasm in the elf's voice. Tell me, did Lord Deskari instruct you to devour this mortal? No? I thought not. You see, Lord Deskari has ordered me to subjugate him and his pathetic swarm. To subjugate, not destroy. You are asking me to disobey a direct order, and why might that be? Could it be that you are afraid this mortal will take your place at our Lord's side? Nonsense! I am Deskari's beloved creation, the harbinger of his wrath and the most loyal of his servants. I came here to destroy the enemy, the one who has blasphemously declared himself Lord of the Great Swarm. Step aside, Anemora. Let me devour him and bring glory to Deskari. If you are so loyal to your lord, why are you so determined to act against his will? Leave now, or you will incur his wrath. The Echo cannot hide his true intentions from the priestess. She sees right through him. The priestess still has mortal desires, and so does the Echo. They argue and bicker, even though they are part of the same swarm. I grow tired of mortals and their pathetic ambitions. That is why I need the similar one. The small swarm must serve the great swarm. You will never subjugate me. Deskari always gets what he wants. Fine, you can proceed, I'm leaving. But know this, if you allow Lord Deskari's prey to slip through your fingers, he will not forgive you. There's no reason for you to be here. You shouldn't have come. Anemora turns to you. And now, prepare to be reborn. Reject your pathetic ego and accept the will of Deskari as your own. Pain courses through your body. The locust inside Anemora's head acts in unison with the treacherous insect hiding somewhere inside your body. You are in agony, and yet somewhere beyond the veil of pain, a thought occurs to you. This process can be reversed. When the priestess attacked your mind, she let down her guard. She is vulnerable and exposed. Surely you could take advantage of her weakness. But how? You manage to fight through the pain and regain control of your body for just a moment. But a moment is all you need to punch Anemora in the face. You strike her as hard as you can, and your fist smashes into her nose with a satisfying crunch. The priestess gasps in pain and staggers back. The pain subsides. The priestess loses her focus and her concentration wavers. You take advantage of her momentary distraction and force your way into her mind. You probe deeper into Anemora's mind, and she obediently surrenders all her secrets to you, as well as the secrets of her master. The abundance of information makes your head spin, but Anemora cannot resist your will. She guides you subconsciously to the most valuable knowledge that she possesses. You see an image of a rift located somewhere in the world wound. It leads directly to the Rasping Rifts, the realm of Deskari himself. You catch a glimpse of the Echo. It looks like he has built a lair there. He is gathering an army, hoping to destroy you once and for all. But now, you know where to find him. I've seen enough of this pathetic display. The similar one is strong. That is good. It means that he will be a useful servant for Deskari, but I won't let him have Anemora, not today. I still need her. The world goes dark around you. You are in complete control of Anemora's mind. It was like food in your mouth. Now, however, it slips from your grasp. When you come to your senses, both the priestess and her entourage are gone. So you helped Anemora escape. Very well, let her flee. Sooner or later, the swarm will devour everyone. The similar one is learning how to think like a swarm. Good, commendable. Anemora will not escape the similar one. The similar one will not escape Deskari. Deskari will grant the similar one his freedom. For now, use this time wisely. The more powerful you become, the more useful you will be to the great Deskari when you join his swarm. The Demon Lord's voice finally fades from your mind, and you are left alone with your thoughts. Anemora paid dearly for her failure during your last encounter. Her face is gone. A crimson pulp instead of skin. A hole where her nose used to be. Maggots squirming all over. She has a single eye left, and it is glaring at you with wicked malice. Last time you managed to get away, and now you come here. Why? So that Lord Deskari could give you the honor of gorging on you personally? The air reeks of acid eating through stone and scrolls. You see shards of stone tablets and crystals thrown about. Just like Areelu said, Anemora is destroying the archives to prevent you from getting to them. Fortunately, it looks like she's just started and has not had time to damage the library too badly.
You lied to me, but I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself. Swear loyalty to me, truthfully this time.
The Swarm knows neither loyalty nor treason. The Swarm serves our master's will, not because it is loyal, but because no other option is possible. Your offer is senseless. You can devour me, but you cannot subdue me. Evil requires Swarm mythic path.
Then you'll be destroyed. Your own swarm will turn upon you.
The locusts crawling all over Anemora's body erupt in vehement buzzing, making her laugh. That's all you can do. You still have such a long way to go before you can compare to my true master, the great Deskari. In the end, my flesh will return to Lord Deskari when he consumes you. All things will belong to him. The whole world will become a part of him.
Irabeth Tirabade stands relieved. Irabeth, you saved my life. I swear Mendev shall never forget your name. It's not important. Just win this war, for me and for everyone, so that Mendev may remain, and the world wound is no more.
What kind of idiot would just throw their life away like that?
It was my life. I did with it what I thought was right. Irabeth, what can I do for you? Tell me. Anevia. Tell her I love her. Take care of my Nevi.
Her eyes roll back. Irabeth Tirabade is dead.
Farewell, Knight Tirabade. May your road to Iomedae's throne be untroubled and swift. You have returned, Commander.
Evil requires Swarm mythic path. Devour Galfrey.
You survived just to become food for the Swarm Queen.
I've been waiting for this.
Deskari. I know he's there. What is this I feel? Fear? No. No, no fear. I am the true Swarm this time. This time will be different. You are bad at pretending to be uninterested, imposter. I know you came down from heaven and even scooped to a conversation with that flighty killer Nocticula, the Crusader goddess, and the Lady in Shadow. So that is how far you are willing to go to be rid of me. You wanted to make this mortal your weapon. When you realized you had failed, you tried to destroy him, but you couldn't do that either. Tell me, imposter, how could you hope to defeat me when you've been humbled even by my diminutive likeness? I obey no one. I devour everyone. Those are good words, but they're coming from the wrong mouth. Only I, Lord of the one true Swarm, can say so without lying. The similar one simply repeats after me. Stop talking over my head, Deskari. Look at me. Answer me. My diminutive likeness does not possess my power, yet he has my pride. He dares make demands of his master. But Deskari does not converse with his food. Enough words. At last we fight. There will be no battle. Only a long-awaited meal.
Once more, Deskari's will clamps its mandibles onto your mind. But this time, it can't pull the same trick with impunity. His body is within your reach. Fighting through the pain, you send your obedient swarm into battle. A deep moan bellows over the area. It feels as if the very stones of Iz, the ancient, ravaged capital of Socorus, are crying in pain under the unbearable weight.
Impossible. I am chaos and death. I am the end of times. I cannot be defeated.
Requires swarm mythic path. There can only be one swarm, is that it? I am the swarm. You are the food. For a moment, you see in your mind's eye the square in Tenebris where it all began. Except now, you two have switched places. Deskari is the one teetering at the edge of a chasm while you stand firm. The vision fades, but your power responds to it and erupts in a single mighty torrent. Your body tenses. The wound in your chest bursts into flames, bleeding heavily as if trying to kill you. But can this stop you? Now when you're a step away from victory? No. The gates of Dresden are open wide, and the army that came back from Iz is standing before you. Hundreds of eyes are watching your triumphant return to your city. The cultists erupt in a discordant hymn, praising your name. The streets behind them are almost empty. There are only insects where the townsfolk should be. All of Dresden is abuzz with the droning of the swarm. The Crusaders of Mgmt watch you with fear and hatred, muttering through clenched teeth.
Welcome back, Commander. We heard the news. I can't believe Her Majesty's gone.
Anevia finds it difficult to speak. Her pale face is devoid of emotion. She moves and talks like a clockwork automaton and not a person. She has already heard about Irabeth's demise.
But that's just the latest name in the long, long list of your victims. This ain't a crusade anymore. It's senseless slaughter. The Knights of Mgmt put up with you and the Queen's orders, but that's all over now. They're going back to Mgmt to strengthen its borders, and I'm leaving with them.
Evil. Require swarm mythic path. Devour the Mgmtians. Nobody leaves this place. The swarm never lets food go to waste. The droning song of the swarm, previously humming in the background, rises to a deafening shriek. The insects soar into the air above and descend upon the Mgmtians. Clam fights desperately, stubbornly trying to resist despite seeing the futility of his actions. The enchantress raises her hands. Fire starts flickering in her palms, but her fingers are reduced to bones even before she can finish the first syllable of the spell.
I am coming to you.
Now the Mgmtian crusade is truly over. The queen is dead, and so are her knights. Only the swarm remains, immortal, immutable, triumphant. Time seems to stand still in the square. The cultists fall silent and watch with bated breath. The incessant buzzing of insects dies down. You realize that every eye is fixed on you.
The swarm has no need for cities and citadels. Only the ruins will remain after my victory, but I will be ever present.
Ruins of cities, ruins of citadels, ruins everywhere! The cultists shake their fists as they repeat your words. The insects join in with a high-pitched whine.
The similar one thinks he has a separate future away from my swarm. How brave! I approve, but truth cannot be changed. For the similar one and all mortals, there is no future beyond Deskari. Deskari, the pathetic carrion eater, dares to threaten me after I defeated and humiliated him in his. It's funny, is it not?
The cultists obediently burst into fits of barking, gut-wrenching laughter. Their cackling is followed by the incessant buzzing of insects.
Once the similar one becomes Deskari's slave, he will pay for this insult with suffering beyond imagining.
The threats and curses of the Demon Lord merge into barely discernible rasping. Deskari is used to having the last word, but this time he has nothing to say to you. His voice is soon lost among the belligerent shouts of the crowd and the buzzing of your swarm. The storyteller appears behind you as if from nowhere. By some miracle, the blind elf survived the massacre. It is almost as if he has neither taste nor scent. Your insects uninterestedly pass him by. Such is the final act of the great tragedy. The goddess's knights fought against armies of demons in bloody fields, but in the end, both fell to an onslaught of countless tiny teeth. Yes, the swarm does not need a capital. Ashes and ruins, bones and sand. Such is the legacy of the proud Crusaders. You are here. I can see, feel, recognize you. Come closer. 3 strange women with ant heads stare at you. They are in chains, and their bodies are covered in ravenous locusts. In some places, their flesh has been gnawed away until there is nothing left but bone. But that does not seem to bother them at all. They speak together in perfect unison, although their words occasionally diverge. My name is Isiagna.
So, it seems the similar one has entered Deskari's dwelling. If he dares to lay a finger on my treasures, his death will be more painful than he can possibly imagine. Do you know me?
I've been following you for a long time. You are Deskari's enemy, beloved, similar one. You want to destroy, devour, marry him. I can help you.
If you've been imprisoned here, how have you been following me?
3 bodies are in prison. 4, 7-fold, myriad are free. Deskari has only captured a small part of me. Since then, I have been keeping an eye on his inner circle. Enemies, food, from afar. Who are you? I am Isiagna, the 7-fold. I possess 7 bodies, and each of them has 7 faces. I am beyond count, but I am one. I am the swarm. I am similar, enemy, sister, to you and Deskari. When Deskari learned of me, he was filled with hatred, love, hunger, because there cannot be 2 swarms in the world. He desired to kill, devour, marry me. We fought, feasted, copulated, and he proved stronger. But my mother, the great Lamashtu, intervened. She did not let him finish what he started. He let me go, but he kept 3 of my bodies in his dwelling, sanctuary, belly. Part of me is imprisoned, and part of me is free. I am weak, but I possess the knowledge, secrets, understanding you seek. Set me free, and I'll set you free. Come to me, devour, free, awaken me. What happened to you? Part of me is in Deskari's prison, belly, harem. He won't set me free and won't let me die. My suffering is excruciating, exhausting, endless. I want to be free, reunited, dead. What do you want from me? These 3 bodies are Deskari's trophies, playthings, captives. They are not important. If they die, I can create, find, bear new ones. But a part of my essence, true self, wholeness, is bound within them. You can do what I cannot. I know what you do not. We should help each other. Gain freedom, topple Deskari. I want you to kill, devour, desecrate these bodies. They will die, and I shall become whole again. As for you, you will gain, devour, discover, understanding of the swarm. You will learn how to give up your mortal, pathetic, lonely form and become one, achieve bliss, find truth with the swarm. You will learn how to banish Deskari from your mind, body, thoughts. Isiagna, the rebel. She was supposed to become a part of my swarm, and that's what would have happened if the mother of monsters had not interfered. Now the similar one wants to take away the little part of her that I managed to capture. I will not forgive this insolence. I'll devour both of you. If you are not Deskari's ally, then you are his food. This time, Deskari's usual restraint fails him. His rasping voice trembles with hatred and anger. Requires swarm mythic path. Devour Isiagna. I will grant your wish. The numerous insects at your command launch themselves angrily at the demon's bodies and begin to consume her flesh. You cannot hold yourself back any longer. You lean down toward one of the bodies and plunge your hands into her warm flesh. How you hate her and how you desire her. All 3 of Isiagna's bodies scream in unison and arch their backs in agony and ecstasy. Her bodies are consumed bite by bite, and her flesh is digested in countless stomachs. You savor the taste of her flesh. What an exquisite feast. You bite down into one of her ant heads and suck out the acrid brown slime. As you consume Isiagna's flesh, you also feel as though you are consuming her knowledge, her secrets, her essence. You look at your own mortal body through the eyes of the countless insects that surround it, and you finally understand the meaning of the swarm. Your pathetic mortal form stands between you and your freedom. All this time, you have been trying to protect this frail body from destruction, but to truly become the swarm, you must direct your hatred and hunger against yourself. You must devour yourself. What are you doing in Deskari's abode? How did you get in here? No, do not answer. I know how. It was Anemora, an insolent mortal who thought herself capable of greatness. Well, it doesn't matter. She prevented me from devouring you before, so I'll devour you now. You are afraid that I will take your place at Deskari's side, aren't you?
What an absurd idea. The hollow fantasy of a mortal who does not understand the way the swarm thinks. I am loyal to Deskari because I am a part of Deskari. Do not insult me by comparing me to a jealous, squabbling noble at the court of some mortal monarch.
Echo feigns disdain, but he cannot conceal his rage. Your words have clearly upset him.
Join me. You are just a little snack that Lord Deskari has saved for later, a dessert to be enjoyed after a great feast. Your crusade has become a thorn in our side. I will put an end to you once and for all.
The Echo's legs give way, and he falls to his knees before you. His wounds ooze with a thick, putrid slime.
I've lost to an unworthy mortal, but how? I am part of the swarm.
You can hear Deskari's howl of rage in your head. His bellowing voice would shatter the mind of most mortals, but you are no ordinary mortal. You remember the knowledge you took from Isiagna. Your nostrils are filled with the sour aroma of the Echo's rancid flesh, a meal prepared specially for you. You can sense that this is the moment of decision. It is now or never. This is the feast in which you will be both the devourer and the devoured. The feast in which you'll be reborn. Requires swarm mythic path. Begin the feast.
For all your talk about the swarm, Echo, you never truly understood it. Behold the true swarm.
Your swarm fills the air. The hum of the insects swells into a buzzing song of triumph. They begin to feast on the Echo and on you. Your transformation has begun. You see through the eyes of every insect. You taste the flesh of the Echo in every mouth, and you feast on your own mortal body. Why did you cling to it for so long? The insects mate, produce offspring, die, and devour one another. The swarm is everything. The swarm devours the swarm. The swarm devours the swarm. The swarm devours the swarm. As the insects feast on the empty husk that was once your mortal form, one of them bites into something unusual. It tastes strange. Deskari. Here it is. This is the locust that gave him the power to bother you whenever he wanted. Deskari no longer holds power over you, but perhaps you should keep this piece of flesh from his swarm intact so that you can continue to communicate with Deskari and learn of his plans. Keep the locust flesh intact so that you could continue to communicate with Deskari. You implant the tiny morsel of flesh into one of your myriad miniature bodies. Deskari wanted to spy on you, but now he will witness your every triumph, whether he wants to or not. You have never felt so free. You are no longer constrained by the limitations of a mortal body. You are the swarm. You are omnipresent. The whole world will become you.
Figures ahead in the distance. Who dares stand before the swarm?
The mad titan, stop! Sela stands before you. She is wearing a new set of armor that has been polished to a shine and decorated with Iomedae's sacred symbols. Do you even remember your name? Is there anything left of the person you once were? You've become very scary, but I know that somewhere inside, lost among all these flies, the real you still exists. Can you hear me? Please hear me. Please. She sobs piteously. Come back. I miss you so much. You've betrayed everything. Our hope, our loyalty, our crusade. You've betrayed the whole world and all the mortals who put their trust in you. The cleric's voice rises with indignation. You are beyond forgiveness. I expected such an outcome. Why did you come back? We are here to destroy you before you destroy Galorian. You can hear the determination in Sela's voice. We are inadvertently responsible for your rise to power, and now it is our duty to correct our mistake. No. We wanted to convince you to stop eating people. Please, come back. You are our friend. We love you. You'll become a part of the swarm. I'll devour you and absorb your power. You are an abomination. I cannot believe I fought side by side with you to liberate Canabras. Sela spits in disgust. We will destroy you, and if we perish, others will come to finish the job. Attack. You will not leave this place alive. Sela's eyes flash dangerously. I must warn you. Your experience fighting alongside us will not give you an advantage. We've undergone special training. You have become a monster, and the angels of the goddess taught us how to destroy you. The angels of the goddess? Do you see who's standing before you? Haven't you learned already that Iomedae can't stop me? Zelle, the queen is dead. Irabeth is dead. Anevia is dead. Where were you? I thought you were going to go and help the crusade. Turns out you abandoned all your friends and decided to roam the countryside with Zelle and Ember. Regil, I went to the Hell Knight outpost, turned over every bed, killed every soldier, every paralictor, everyone who was there that came with you, looking for you, and you were nowhere to be found. A true Hell Knight would have been there to die next to his comrades, but here you are, all alone, the only Hell Knight in sight. You will join the swarm with the rest of your comrades. So, Zelle, I'd call out your failures here, but what could be worse than what you already did in the Abyss? You know your brother's soul is still there. After the demons finish devouring him, either he's in the Abyss or he's in hell. All because his brother was too weak to actually save him. And here you are, self-righteous, pretending that somehow you are gonna be the one to stop me from eating everything. And through all this, where are you, Ember? Aren't you supposed to be helping people, saving people, healing people? Why didn't you save Zelle's brother? Why didn't you save Anevia? Why didn't you save the countless people I've murdered on my way to becoming the true swarm? You have no excuse, because nothing you've ever done has actually mattered. Not a single sermon, not a single prayer, not a single one of your healing spells ever actually saved anyone. All of them will join the swarm, just like all of you. And so, they all join the swarm. You hear the voice of the lady in shadow. Well, After challenging gods, demon lords, and the world as a whole, Areelu's unruly creation is close to achieving his ultimate goal. But what will you do in the end? What choice would you make? After all, you don't want the wound to close. You would rather die than lose your food supply and your access to Deskari's realm.
Nocticula. She is a worthless liar. She spins a web of intrigue as she skulks in the shadows, too afraid to show her face in battle. She has been spying on me, trying to deceive me, but a lie only holds its power till the truth is revealed, unlike the power of my scythe, which will never fade or diminish. When I'm done with the similar one and his preposterous crusade, I will drag the deceiver out of the shadows. She will know the wrath of Deskari, a wrath that cannot be tricked, cannot be bargained with, and cannot be eluded. The same wrath that awaits the similar one. Stop playing games. I do not belong to you, and neither will my victory.
Sure, whatever makes you feel better about yourself.
What do you want from me?
I'm simply observing. Things have devolved into total chaos. Could anyone have predicted this? Areelu, Iomedae, myself? Could any of us have guessed that things would turn out this way?
Do you know what lies ahead?
Better than anyone, and yet, not well enough. You are about to confront the most lethal, powerful, and capable servant I've ever had. She is unmatched in her abilities, but you are her creation, her masterpiece. You are the only one who stands a chance of stopping her. The creation must surpass the creator.
If you truly desire victory, why don't you join the battle yourself?
Oh no, you will never see me again. Not until I step out of the shadows to deal you a fatal blow.
I have to go.
Go. My worst mistake. Nocticula falls silent, but you hear a pure, clear voice, the voice of Iomedae. Our mistake, Lady in Shadow, and one day we will have to rectify it and save the world from the monster we have created. A goddess allied with a demon lord. It is extraordinary, but necessary. Do you see what you have done, Mad Titan? You have forced a demon and a goddess to work together. Inheritor, this situation calls for a divine smiting, and I'll think up a few new tricks and traps myself. Nocticula's voice fades into silence, and you are left to ponder her ominous words.
To be defeated by the one I have imbued with power. Is there any higher praise? But I'm tired. You won't hear me pleading. Let us finish this experiment here and now.
Chaotic. Require swarm, mythic path. Devour Areelu.
You think yourself a creator, but you will become my sustenance, and so will Deskari, and all the creatures of Galorian and the Abyss. I will get my hands on every last one.
There is no fear in Areelu's eyes, just something akin to sudden curiosity. She looks like she's poised to make a whispered account of yet another experiment. This look, however, is short-lived, lasting but a moment, from when you utter the words to when the swarm descends upon her, drawing a scream from her throat. Areelu's piercing cry yet rings throughout the fortress when the ground shakes once more and a monstrous figure emerges from the rift. But there is a tremble and an uncertainty to Deskari's lofty stride. His eyes dart from Areelu's remains to you.
How dare you threaten me, mortal imitator? Do you truly believe you are capable of devouring the one known as the Usher of the Apocalypse? Enough. I will end you here and now.
I am the Swarm, and you are food for the Swarm. Life and death, destiny and great deeds, answers to mysteries, the search for one's truth path. The mind can comprehend all of these, and then such concepts can be written down as a sequence of formulas, a series of lines, a chain of thought. Still, a moment always comes when it is time to wrap up, to reach a conclusion, to put a period at the end of the last sentence. Or should it be an ellipsis instead, an empty space where the description of the end result should be? After all, a century of crusades changed nothing. The gaping world wound remained on the face of Galorian. The wound, filled with all-devouring insects, continued to grow, wider across Galorian and deeper into the abyss, terrifying mortals and demons alike. The creature that once bore the now cursed title of Commander was still slowly dying from his incurable wound, but his agony would drag on for many centuries. After the Battle of Threshold, the Commander did not stay long in the lands where the Fifth Crusade had been waged. A new destiny and a new journey awaited him. Like insects flying to a hive, madmen from neighboring lands flocked to the world wound. Guided by feverish dreams, they followed the call, wishing only to pledge themselves to the Swarm, to join it, or to become its food. The Commander's cult was growing larger and hungrier. The horrifying feast wrought by the Commander in Dresden robbed the bordering nations of their will to fight. Much later, a proposal to launch a new crusade in the lands consumed by the rampaging Swarm was mooted with great reluctance. The very word crusade had become a synonym for humiliating failure. Much like the Commander, who was reborn as something more powerful and perfect, the crusade transformed as well. Military strategy gave way to blind rage, and in place of organized supply lines, internal hunger reigned. There were no more enemies or allies, only prey. No more superiors or subordinates. All were bound by a single will. The army of Dresden vanished, and the Swarm emerged. Queen Galfrey died, leaving no direct heir. Mendevian society was soon mired in political plots and petty power struggles, subjected to an ever-changing cast of rulers and pretenders to the throne. But none was able to win the love of the people or achieve the level of national unity for which Mendev had been renowned in the reign of Queen Galfrey. The chain of ward stones and the angels imprisoned inside them maintained their vigil at the borders of the world wound. It would be a long time before those warriors of heaven would finally find peace. The Lady in Shadow found a way to benefit from the situation by magnanimously accepting the warriors from the destroyed armies of Baphomet and Deskari. She significantly bolstered the might of the Midnight Isles. Few realized that the Commander had effectively foiled Nocticula's plans with his decision to keep the passage between the Abyss and Galorian open. The Lady in Shadow began preparing her defenses in secret. She knew that sooner or later, invaders would appear in her realm, and it mattered not whether they would be demons or mortals. The Demon Lord Baphomet suffered a defeat, but his ambitions were undimmed. the war wound remained open, and therefore the war with Galorian was not over. The demon lord Deskari died his final death, and his cult perished with him. His followers and demonic minions entered the service of Deskari's sire, Pazuzu. Whether Pazuzu's terrifying rage stemmed from his offspring's demise or from his failure, none can tell. For a time, the whereabouts of Devours were completely unknown, but then the River Kingdom saw the publication of her shocking book, To the Abyss and Back, The Crusade Through the Eyes of a Former Cultist. The book was banned in several countries, and a bounty was placed on Nura's head, but the elusive writer always escaped the clutches of the Inquisitors. The storyteller, as old as the tales he collected, continued his travels across Galorian and occasionally beyond. He knew that out there somewhere, there was one story he would never find, his own. The Bladesmith did some good work on Finian after getting him back from the commander. The former Pathfinder became a fearsome weapon that constantly hungered for blood. The wounds dealt by the weapon would refuse to heal completely.
And what of me, the writer of these words? The half-demon witch known as the architect of the world wound. I was defeated and fell at the hand of the one I had tried to transform. My experiment ended in failure, and my life ended along with it. I have recounted the story of my life for you, Pharasma, Lady of Graves. Not only of my life, but of the Commander's also. I believed the tale of such an illustrious figure would pique even a goddess's curiosity. Now you know everything. I await your verdict, Goddess.
Silence hangs over the boneyard. The Lady of Graves is weighing her decision, and it seems the entire universe is holding its breath, awaiting her pronouncement. Who would dare to break a silence so absolute? Let Pharasma deliver her verdict.
You wrought great evil, while it stemmed from the evil that was done to you. Your actions far exceeded it. Your soul is dark, and there is only one place for you in the universe. I shall send you to the Abyss, plane of pain and fury, suffering and privation. That which you have done to others will now be done to you. So be it.
That ends my walkthrough of the Void Swarm content on my channel. I'll do supercuts of the other mythic paths over the next month. Hope all of you enjoyed this video. Take care.